We begin with body sensing, which invites you to feel your body as sensation, not as some abstract form. As you settle in, notice that you have a distinct center and a periphery. And that as you bring your attention to each part of yourself, it's easier to notice sensation. Allowing yourself more access to sensory experience allows for this subtler vibration of your being to arise in consciousness. Moving towards an unlimited expanse, a perception of awareness without boundary. Sense into the mouth, the weight of the tongue, the space between the roof of the mouth and the tongue. Note sensation around the eyes. Any tingling on the skin where the air is open and cooler. Sense the top of the head, allowing yourself to enter a state of deep relaxation. And bring awareness to your neck, shoulders, and hands. Feeling whatever quality of sensation arises, be it heaviness, warmth. Deepen whatever comes into awareness by expanding your attention to it. Bring your attention now to the chest, the back, the belly. And notice that when you bring attention, you can release unconscious tension. But you must be paying attention to do so. Allow yourself to enter a healthy state of restfulness as you breathe into cellular awareness, sensations of vibration and aliveness as you allow your attention to breathe into each cell. Consider with each breath breathing in well-being for all organs and tissues. Sensing into the pelvis, the thighs, the knees. Releasing any tension in the calves, ankles, or feet. Allow a sense of relaxation that goes deeper and deeper. Allow a state of health and rejuvenation. Release any pressure. It will be there later if you'd like to pick it up again. And then breathing into whole body awareness. Notice the distinct difference between places where you are warm and heavy and places where you are cool. and light. Open to sound. Expand into the release of all struggle, striving, or extending yourself to hear. Simply receive sound. Welcome what comes. Sense the breath coming and going in the nostrils. Notice there is nothing you need do. Your body breathes itself. But for now, set aside any effort, any striving. And even as you make yourself comfortable, can you make yourself welcome? And can you welcome sensations and thoughts and emotions which come and go as sensations? Be here and simply be aware of what is. Feel your body lying on the surface beneath you. The places where there is weight, perhaps under the torso or the pelvis, the legs, and the places where there is lightness, crystallized into a field of experience. So grand and so powerful, being in a body, in space and time, and yet being here in this moment between the past and the future. Breathe into this body that has come forth from the field of vaster consciousness, of which you are a part. And look upon all that you have created and know that it is good. You have borne much, but you have been born for a reason. It is marvelous, and there is mystery in this, and no one knows how it is done, but it is so. And you have decreed that you would be here in this moment, so own it. By owning it, you begin to sense the incredible, awesome power that flows through you in each moment. It is the power to create by putting your attention here or there, or withdrawing it. And now cultivate a sankalpa, an intention, that each hour of your day, for 3 to 5 minutes, you practice simply bringing the quality of awareness to whatever you're experiencing. Whether it's the feeling of the floor under your feet as you stand, or the chair under your sit bones when you sit. Whatever you might be doing, walking out into the wilderness, sensing the air, if there is a breeze, opening to the sound of birdsong all around you. And bring awareness to what you are doing in that moment. What thoughts come to mind? Consider where thoughts might come from. Consider where you might come from. Did you just happen by accident? The possibility of being able to generate that very thought that you create or do not create is evidence itself of the vaster consciousness of which you are a part. Life force moving through your being, penetrating the veils of distraction and shining forth as thought, as focus, as awareness. Feel how amazing that is, for you are linked with the mind of God, and God knows how to bring you back to complete freedom, perfect peace, and to delight in what you experience. And as you practice, pretty soon a few moments will turn into 6 minutes or 10 or 15 or 50, until finally there is established an awareness of consciousness that is an unchanging realization that everything that is arises in consciousness. And so it is. Follow the rising and falling of the belly as you inhale and exhale. Soften the muscles around your eyes, your lips, your cheeks, your jaw, your tongue. And take on board a second practice. Whenever the words ought, or should, or must arise, or something you have to, feel compelled to. Imagine now writing them on a piece of paper. Look at your list and imagine lighting the page with a match and let the corner of the page burn to the opposite corner. And watch all those untrue words dissolve into smoke. Set the intention to clear from consciousness all identification with such words, for they are all denials of reality. And state this affirmation, this sankalpa: I need do nothing. You need not survive. Who told you you had to? You need not make everyone else happy. Who told you you must? This urgency to do is covering up your being. You literally need do nothing to receive, except perhaps bring attention to the places where you're blocking the ability to receive. You literally have the choice whether or not to do something. Or how can there be the power of freedom to choose or create when you are being governed by a belief that you must be a certain way? Notice how this resonates in your physical body, sensing your torso, or perhaps anywhere along the central line, or even perhaps in hips or arms or shoulders. Notice any kind of response in the physical body. It might be a sensation. It might be a color or a series of colors, or a sense of lightness or density or darkness. And just observe. Notice on the one hand the desire to fit in, to belong, to be a part of. Sensing what arises in the physical body as you consider it. And by contrast, allow the belief to arise that you are free, and that being free is how you came into this world. And sense into your body to see if it is a truth, a knowing. How might this resonate differently? And decide that you will do this ritual as you awaken in the morning. Consider if you need do something to validate your existence, or if you need do nothing. And if the mind arises and says, I have these things to do, what about this? What about that? Notice that when you give in, you lose your choice and you lose your freedom. Instead, pick something very simple, the sensation of sheets beneath you, or sunlight as it filters in through the window, and say to yourself, it is good. I have done this, and it is good. I have created this moment, and it is good. And if you continue with true commitment, you will begin to apply this awareness to more and more of your everyday moments throughout life. And when you are experiencing the deepest sorrow or the most profound loss, if you simply pick something very simple, the sense of appreciation for a moment to rest, or for a hot beverage on a cold day, steaming, or a cool beverage on a hot day, renewing. These everyday experiences begin to reawaken a childlike joy. Imagine building a castle on the beach in the sand. For in truth, consciousness is your sandbox, and you are creating castles. Yet you have simply forgotten to enjoy the process. Bring attention now to the breath and breathe in and feel the wonder of oxygen flooding the lungs, expanding the ribs and the belly. As you exhale, release all stress, release urgency, release oppression on the exhale. Breathing in, on the one hand, expansiveness, vast spaciousness. Exhaling, on the other hand, density, frustration, or confusion. And breathe in, noting the sensation of air through nostrils into lungs, and expand awareness to include spaciousness, calm, as well as chaotic confusion simultaneously. Exhale, releasing all tension and strain to keep it together. For you need do nothing. And if the mind or the body has allowed some resistance to bubble up to the surface of the water, notice if there is a resistance that shows up in your body as tension, and could you soften that and know that it blocks you from that which you most desire, which is freedom, freedom of motion, freedom of the motion of consciousness and awareness. And notice that on the other hand, sometimes there is an appropriate moment to resist the mind as it takes you down rabbit holes that no longer really serve. Feeling now where your body records and responds to the image of the mind spiraling. Noticing that all resistance is, on some level, fear. And the part of the mind called ego will arise and tell you that if you listen It may be the destruction of all that you have, when in truth, it is the ego that will be released if you follow this path of releasing the resistance, the cautiousness, the tension that blocks your way forward. Sometimes the mind must be resisted because it is the voice of ego taking you down a path that will not serve. How do you tell? If the mind is continuously replaying an image of the past or a concern about the future, you are being pulled apart with massive horsepower in two directions. Instead, scan the body and notice if there is any sensation where your attention goes. Make this a part of your practice, to do a body scan now and then, especially when you feel that you have a habit, perhaps, of subduing, submerging, shoving under. And breathe in and breathe out. And follow the breath at your own pace. Return to the intention set earlier. I am enough. I need do nothing. I am here, and it is good. Thoughts come and go. Emotions come and go. But the reality of who you are cannot be destroyed. You are free. You are spacious. You are a consciousness beyond intellect, which all of us are tapped into. Thank you for your attention. As you bring your awareness back to your body and your regular state rather than this liminal, restful state of awareness, just allow yourself to sense fingers and toes.